When Forbes placed Caitlin Clark at number 4 on its list of the 25 most powerful women in sports, the praise wasn't just about stats. It was about control, money, and cultural relevance. Clark's rise has been meteoric, driven by historic viewership, sold-out arenas, and brand deals that rival seasoned pros. But while the public celebrated her as the face of a new sports era, not everyone cheered. Behind the scenes,
If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe.
that recognition ignited quiet resentment from corners of the league, where Clark's independence and market dominance were seen not as milestones, but as threats. The backlash wasn't about merit. It was about power shifting into the hands of someone who didn't wait for permission. That resentment took a darker turn. As Clark's influence expanded beyond the court, it triggered a level of scrutiny and tension that exploded into legal headlines. The moment symbolized a collision between two forces, one fighting for transformation, the other clinging to tradition. And now, with institutional insecurities exposed and rivalries made public, the question isn't just how far Clark can go. It's whether the system built to contain athletes like her can survive the new rules she represents. Caitlin Clark just got named one of the 25 most powerful women in sports. Not number 25, not 15, number 4. Let that sink in. Forbes dropped their annual list, and there she was, ranked above CEOs, global icons, and even Olympic legends. She's 20 years old, playing her rookie WNBA season, and already standing toe-to-toe with the most influential figures in the industry. But this isn't just another feel-good sports moment, because as soon as her name hit that list, the reactions weren't all applause. One of the loudest responses? A lawsuit from Reese. Yeah, things just got messy. Clark's rise has been meteoric, undeniable, even if you try. From the moment she stepped onto a college court, she was breaking records and pulling numbers that the women's game hadn't seen in decades. Her transition to the WNBA came with sky-high expectations, and somehow, she's not just meeting them. She's rewriting the entire narrative around women's sports. Ratings, ticket sales, merchandise, media coverage, all exploding. And the common denominator? Caitlin Clark. She doesn't just play basketball. She drives viewership, headlines, and bottom lines. This is someone who sells out arenas in minutes, leads primetime coverage, and has endorsements with Nike, Wilson, and Gatorade. Her signature shoe deal came before she even hit the pros. She's not just an athlete, she's a walking brand. And that's exactly what makes her presence so disruptive. Because the WNBA has never seen anything, or anyone, like her. And not everyone's thrilled about it. From the jump, there was tension. You could feel it. Her draft night came with applause, sure, but also side eyes and snide commentary from players and insiders who didn't appreciate how quickly she was being handed the spotlight. The old guard? Not impressed. The league's vibe? Quiet at best. Defensive at worst. And when the biggest star in women's basketball, right now, gets named one of the most powerful women in all of sports, you'd expect some celebration from the league that she's literally helping keep in the news cycle. But what do we get instead? A lawsuit. Reese, another top name from the same rookie class, is now going after Clark in court. It's a legal move that shocked fans, but also drew attention to the deeper, brewing resentment behind the scenes. Let's be real. This isn't about one incident or one headline. It's about what Caitlin Clark represents and why that makes people uncomfortable. Her success isn't just about stats. It's about shifting power, about changing how we talk about female athletes. She's proving that marketability, media presence, and cultural relevance are of value. For years, women's sports have been begging for attention, saying we're just as good, give us a chance. Caitlin Clark didn't wait for permission. She took over. And with that came the backlash. See, the WNBA isn't used to having a single player become the main attraction. This isn't the NBA, where you expect one megastar to carry ratings. The culture in the women's league has been more team-centric, more egalitarian. So when Clark walks in, breaking records and grabbing headlines by just showing up, that balance gets thrown way off. But instead of rallying behind her, some of the league's loudest voices have been icy. On court, she gets targeted. Online, she gets shaded. And now, legally, she's being challenged. It's hard to ignore the pattern. Meanwhile, Caitlyn doesn't flinch. She stays focused. No drama. No Twitter fights. No subtweets. Just numbers. TV numbers. Jersey numbers. Scoring numbers. Every time she's on screen, millions are watching. Games that used to barely register in the ratings are now dominating cable. Her presence alone is turning women's basketball into appointment viewing. The business world noticed. Fast. Her endorsement deals are in the millions. Gatorade, Wilson, Nike, all in. She's the face of campaigns before even winning a rookie award. And it's not just hype. Those brands are seeing returns. Her shoes sell out. Her name trends. Every public appearance goes viral. You'd think the league would be popping champagne. But instead, silence. Or worse, shade. There's a tension in the air, and it's not subtle. What makes it even wilder is that Clark isn't trying to be controversial. She's not flashy. She's not running her mouth. She's not dunking on teammates or demanding special treatment. She plays hard. She wins games. She sells tickets. And she does it all without the league's help. That's the part that stings. Because Caitlin Clark's rise is independent. She didn't get here through the system. She didn't wait for the WNBA to promote her. She became a global icon despite the league's outdated marketing. She built her empire outside of the traditional gatekeepers. And now, she's bigger than the system she's in. That's threatening to anyone who's spent years trying to climb the ladder the hard way. The Forbes list was just the cherry on top. Being named number 4 among the 25 most powerful women in sports isn't just a personal win. It's a signal. A sign that the sports world recognizes what the league still doesn't want to say out loud. Caitlin Clark is the moment. Not because she's the best player stats-wise. Not because she's the most experienced. But because she moves culture. She changes conversations. She drives revenue. This isn't about who's the best pure hooper. It's about influence. About impact. And Clark is doing what even legends before her struggled to do. Make women's basketball a cultural force. That kind of power shakes things up. It forces everyone, leagues, brands, even teammates, to rethink their playbooks. And not everyone is ready for that. Angel Reese's lawsuit may have been the boiling point, but the pot's been simmering for a while. There's a divide between the old and the new. Between the players who worked for years with little recognition and the ones like Clark who showed up and instantly changed the game. It's not fair, but it's real. And that tension isn't going away anytime soon. The league's response, or lack of one, says everything. Instead of doubling down on her success and using her to elevate the entire brand, they've stayed on the sidelines. There's a hesitation, like they're scared to embrace her too fully. Because if they do, they have to admit the old ways aren't working. They have to admit that one player can and is changing everything. And she's doing it without their permission. Caitlin Clark is a blueprint, not just for athletes, but for anyone who's been told to wait their turn. She's proof that humility, skill, and smart branding can build a legacy before you're even old enough to rent a car. She's navigating her career like a CEO. Strategic, calm, and wildly effective. And that's what really makes people nervous. She doesn't need league approval to thrive. She doesn't rely on official promos or legacy support. She shows up, performs, and leaves the system scrambling to keep up. That's not just powerful, it's revolutionary. What we're watching is more than just a standout rookie season. It's a shift in how female athletes are valued. Caitlin Clark is proving that relevance, audience, and business potential matter just as much as stats and championships. She's rewriting the criteria for success in women's sports and forcing everyone else to catch up. And the fallout? The lawsuit? The resentment? That's the growing pain of a sport entering a new era. One where the most powerful player isn't just the one scoring points, but the one moving culture. If you're still here, you clearly see the bigger picture. So tell us, do you think the league is resisting change or just not ready for it? Should Caitlin be celebrated more? Or is the backlash somewhat fair? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you're into the drama, And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a moment from the front lines of pop culture chaos. Because in this new era of sports, the games are just the beginning. Caitlin Clark walking into the WNBA wasn't just another rookie arriving on the scene. It was a cultural event. She didn't stroll in quietly. She exploded in, dragging millions of new eyeballs with her. People who had never watched a WNBA game were suddenly tuning in. Networks were adjusting their schedules. Commentators were scrambling to catch up. She changed the entire media ecosystem, all before even playing her 10th professional game. And that's where the resentment really kicked in. For years, veterans in the league have fought tooth and nail for a fraction of that attention. They've been grinding through underfunded seasons, playing overseas in the offseason just to make ends meet, and constantly begging for mainstream respect. Then Clark shows up, and within months, she's the poster child for the league, without the league even officially putting her there. That kind of rapid ascendancy doesn't just raise eyebrows. It raises walls. Because to them, it feels like she skipped the line. But here's the thing, there is no line anymore. Clark didn't cut in. She built a whole new entrance. The attention she commands wasn't gifted to her. It was earned through performance, visibility, and a mastery of the media landscape that most athletes are still trying to figure out. And yet, the backlash continues. Some of it's subtle. Cold handshakes, avoided eye contact, quiet little digs in interviews. And some of it's not subtle at all. Flagrant fouls, tense court altercations, and now, legal action. Angel Reese filing a lawsuit wasn't just about Clark personally. It was a boiling over of everything simmering beneath the surface. Competition, envy, frustration, and the undeniable fear that Caitlin Clark is reshaping the rules faster than anyone can adjust. And here's where things get especially awkward. While other players are navigating the league's traditional channels, hoping for media coverage, hustling for endorsements, Clark is fielding offers from Fortune 500 companies. She's had a signature shoe deal with Nike before some players even get a G League tryout. And it's not because she begged for it. It's because the numbers back her up. Millions of viewers, sold-out arenas, national headlines every time she speaks. This isn't hype. It's measurable impact. In an industry that's always said women's sports can't draw numbers, Caitlin Clark is blowing the lid off that lie. Every single day. But here's the twist. It's not just the other players who seem unsure about her. It's the league itself. You'd think they'd be all over this. You'd expect banners, commercials, social pushes, partnership campaigns. But instead, the WNBA's response has been weirdly subdued. Almost like they're hesitant. Almost like they don't want to admit she's the reason ticket prices have tripled in some cities. Or that her games are the only ones consistently trending on social media. It's a strange silence, and it speaks volumes. Because acknowledging her fully means admitting that the old model wasn't working. That for decades, women's basketball has been undersold. Not because of the talent, but because it lacked a face that could bridge the gap between sports culture and mainstream culture. Clark is that bridge, but the league seems terrified to walk across it. Instead, we get a bizarre balancing act. Try to uplift other stars while downplaying the one person actually driving measurable growth. It's like watching someone win the lottery and then trying to pretend it's not that big of a deal. But here's what makes it even more uncomfortable. Caitlin doesn't even ask for the attention. She's not out here self-promoting every 5 minutes. She's not launching talk show beefs or doing press tours every other week. She just plays. She shows up, drops 25, and goes home. Meanwhile, the entire world can't stop talking about her. She's the biggest name in women's basketball without ever demanding the spotlight. Which brings us back to why this moment matters so much. Because Caitlin Clark's success is changing what it means to make it in women's sports. It's no longer just about rings and stats. It's about influence, visibility, brand power. And while that's uncomfortable for some, it's exactly what women's sports have been asking for all along. More coverage, more investment, more respect. Now that it's here, why are we acting like it's a problem? It's almost as if people expected change to come gently, slowly, predictably. But that's not how revolutions work. Sometimes, all it takes is one person to shake the system, and Caitlin Clark is shaking the whole tree. And like clockwork, the rotten fruit is starting to fall. The lawsuit? That's not just legal drama. That's a symptom of a league caught in the middle of an identity crisis. On one hand, they want to grow. On the other hand, they want to keep everything equitable, balanced, and team-oriented. But Clark's presence challenges that model because she brings a disruption. She's not asking to be treated differently. She is different. And that's what makes this moment so tense. Everyone's watching to see how the league handles it. Do they double down on her impact and embrace the modern model of stardom? Or do they keep playing it safe, trying to appease everyone, and risk letting this golden opportunity slip through their fingers? Because here's what's undeniable. Caitlin Clark is the growth. She's the reason kids are buying jerseys. She's the reason dads are watching WNBA games with their daughters. She's the reason media outlets that never cover women's sports are suddenly assigning entire beats to it. She's the reason corporations are finally putting serious money into female athlete branding. And yet the backlash continues. But maybe that's just what happens when someone changes the rules without waiting for permission. Maybe that's what real power looks like. She's not loud. She's not divisive. She's not campaigning. She's just playing. And in doing so, she's reshaping an entire industry. For the young girls watching, she's more than an athlete. She's proof that you don't have to wait your turn. You can create your moment. For the sponsors and brands, she's a dream, a clean image, massive reach, and consistent excellence. And for the league, she's both a lifeline and a mirror. A mirror that's reflecting all the ways the system hasn't evolved fast enough. All the insecurities, all the missed marketing opportunities, all the years of undervaluing star power. And the league now has a choice: adapt or get left behind. The lawsuit might be the headline, but the real story is bigger. This is about a generational shift, about a player who isn't just participating in the league, but redefining its value in real time. Caitlin Clark's journey is a masterclass in what happens when talent meets timing. When a star is born not just from skill, but from being in the right place, with the right audience, at the right cultural moment. And yes, some people will sue. Others will throw shade. Many will whisper behind her back or will try to undercut her influence. But none of it matters, because she's not going anywhere. She's not just breaking records. She's building a blueprint. And if the league's smart, they'll stop treating her like a threat and start treating her like what she truly is: the future. Caitlin Clark never asked for any of this. She didn't beg to be the face of women's sports. She didn't pull strings to be ranked number 4 on Forbes' power list. She wasn't out here plotting a takeover. She simply played her game at an elite level with consistency, class, and a calm that almost dares people to underestimate her. But the impact? Unavoidable. You don't get multi-million-dollar endorsement deals before your rookie contract kicks in without turning heads. You don't sell out WNBA arenas in cities that used to struggle with attendance without shifting culture. You don't top Forbes lists unless you're doing something so disruptive, so undeniable, that the business world has no choice but to sit up and pay attention. And yet, through all of that, her league stays quiet, uncomfortably quiet. That silence speaks louder than any press release ever could. It tells you exactly how unsure they are. Because celebrating Caitlin Clark fully means admitting that the old approach wasn't enough. It means putting one player's face above the rest, when a league has spent years pushing a team-first, equal share model. But this isn't about abandoning everyone else. It's about recognizing what actually moves the needle. Clark isn't the first talented woman to enter the WNBA. Not even close. But she is the first to come in with the kind of mass appeal, commercial draw, and media coverage that rivals top-tier male athletes. And the fact that she did it without compromising who she is, that's what makes this all so fascinating and, frankly, threatening to the status quo. You can feel the resentment, not just from players, but from parts of the media, the culture, even the very institutions that should be supporting her. And every bit of it proves the point. Her influence is so big, it's polarizing. This lawsuit from Angel Reese, that's not just personal. That's symbolic. It's a manifestation of the discomfort rippling through the league right now. On the surface, it's a legal move. But underneath, it's the scream of a system trying and failing to hold onto the old playbook. Because Caitlin Clark isn't playing by their rules. She's rewriting them. She's showing younger athletes that you don't have to wait for the league to co-sign you. You don't have to hope someone notices. You can build your own momentum. You can partner directly with brands. You can be your own business, your own media machine, your own empire. No gatekeepers required. And that, more than anything, is why she's controversial. Not because of what she said, not because of what she did, but because of what she represents. A new era, a new model, a new face of power in sports that isn't filtered through league approval. She's showing up, putting in the work, staying humble, and still managing to steal every headline. That kind of control makes people nervous. And let's not pretend this doesn't have layers. Gender, race, generational divides, it's all there, woven into the tension. But none of it changes the numbers. None of it changes the reality that Caitlin Clark is the reason millions of people are watching WNBA games for the first time in their lives. She's the reason sponsors are upping their budgets. The reason networks are increasing coverage. The reason people are arguing at all. Because you can't disrupt an entire system without ruffling feathers. And here's what's wild. She's doing it without even trying to be controversial. There's no drama coming from her. No media feuds. No off-court antics. Just a woman showing up, hooping like crazy, and letting her presence do the talking. That's it. It's the league, the players, and the culture around her that's making it messy. Instead of seeing her as a threat, maybe it's time they saw her for what she really is, a once-in-a-generation opportunity. A chance to finally elevate the league in a way that's been talked about but never truly executed. And if they keep missing that window, that's on them. Because Caitlin Clark is already operating on another level. The Forbes list just confirmed what we already knew. She's not just an athlete. She's a force. A cultural force. A financial force. A generational talent who's proving that women's sports can draw numbers, influence markets, and inspire millions if you let them. But if the people in charge keep choosing ego over evolution, then maybe Caitlin will do what she's already proven she can do, build it without them. So what's next? Does the league wake up? Do they finally back the star who's already backing them more than they even realize? Or do they keep playing it safe while the rest of the world moves forward? Let us know what you think. Is this just growing pains? Or is the WNBA fumbling their biggest moment yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share this with someone who's watching the drama unfold, and subscribe so you never miss the next big story. Because if there's one thing we've learned, it's that in today's game, the scoreboard isn't the only thing that counts.